Hi, my name is Brendan Downey, and I'm the Vice President of Transformation here at DashQ. DashQ connects the entire renter journey into a single AI-driven system, eliminating manual processes and enabling scalable operations. The biggest problem with most leasing reports is that they tell you what happened, but they don't tell you what to fix. You see leads coming in, you see leases going out, but neither of those tells you where the system is actually breaking down. Because leasing is really a chain, right? You go from inquiry to lead, lead to tour, tour to application, and ultimately application to lease. And if any one of those links gets weak, performance drops. But most reports, they show you the final ratio. The way I like to think about it is ratios are the report card and the stages are the diagnosis. I'll give you two good examples. You have two properties and both might have a 3% lead to lease conversion. The same number, but one of them is struggling because response time is slow, and the other one has a tour to no-show problem. Same ratio, but a completely different fix. And if you can't actually see where the leak is in the funnel, you can't fix it. You know, I see many organizations focusing on more metrics the better, but it's important to start with those that expose the bottlenecks quickly, which isn't necessarily about quantity. Now, the dashboard I like to see really comes down to four things. First is throughput. I like to see conversions at each stage of the funnel: lead to tour, tour to application, application to lease. And I want to know why people are dropping off and why they are moving forward. All data to me is good data. The second is speed. How fast are we responding? How long are people sitting in each stage? And especially, how long are approvals taking? Speed is one of those things that quietly kills conversion in leasing, and people don't always catch it. The third is quality. I want to see channel performance measured by actual leases, not just lead volume. And I want tour show rates broken down by source. And fourth is accountability. You have to be able to cut all of this by community, building, unit type, leasing rep, and by marketing channel, because averages hide the real story every time. When leasing slows down, I want to know about 60 seconds whether the issue is demand, follow-up, tour execution, or approvals. That's it. This will also tell you whether you need to hone in on your revenue management, marketing, or leasing strategy. The biggest change is that visibility creates a shared reality. Once the data is clear, performance stops being a debate. Coaching becomes specific instead of this vague, general thing. Leasing reps can actually see where they need to improve. Managers can then coach the exact stage that's weak. For example, if a rep is great at converting leads into tours, but struggles once people actually show up, that's a tour execution issue. That's not a marketing problem. And knowing that changes everything about how you coach them. Reps can then get clearer benchmarks, managers can rebalance the workload, and the coaching itself becomes targeted instead of reactive. At the end of the day, visibility just reduces friction, and everyone's working from the same picture of the funnel, and that alone will drive better performance. LLMs are really good at turning leasing data into action. They can summarize patterns across large portfolios, spot bottlenecks in the funnel, and even suggest next steps. For example, you could ask a model something like, which communities are at a vacancy risk in the next 30 days, and what part of that funnel is driving that risk? And that itself is powerful. That used to take someone hours to pull together and it wasn't accurate. But, and this is the important part, they're as only as good as the data feeding them. If your stages are defined consistently, and if leads are duplicated, if attribution is broken, the model will confidently summarize the bad data. And that's almost worse than not having it at all. So the real work actually happens before AI can even enter the picture. You need clean stages, accurate timestamps, proper ownership, and a single source of truth. Once that structure is in place, AI becomes incredibly useful for helping operators make sense of the data faster. But you have to earn that by getting the foundation right the first time. The biggest shift I see is that NOI protection is moving from hindsight to early detection. Historically, operators look at performance at the end of the month, and by then, the chance to actually do something about it is already gone, especially when you're going into peak leasing season. So what we're starting to see is this always-on visibility, where operators can monitor things like response speed, timing each stage, funnel drop-offs, all in near real time. And that means they can catch risk while they can still change the outcome. The next step from there is predictive signals, looking at the leasing funnel and the application pipeline to forecast vacancy pressure before it actually shows up in occupancy or revenue numbers. And then eventually, you get into prescriptive operations, where instead of just seeing the bottleneck, the system starts telling you what to do about it. Shifting staffing here, increase follow-up there, adjust pricing or incentives. And at the end of the day, this is just risk and opportunity management. But the future of it is catching that risk or capturing the opportunity earlier and responding faster than we ever could have before.